Hi, I'm Taylor, and this is the Brooklyn Kitchen's Knife Skills course. We have taught this class in person for 15 years to thousands of people, and everyone says it changes their life. This will teach you how to hold a knife, how to use a knife, and by taking you through some simple ingredients, cucumbers, carrots, celery, onions, garlic, and parsley, you will get the practice down to really be able to tackle anything in the kitchen. So grab your knives, clear some space in your kitchen, get your ingredients together, and we'll get cooking. Let's talk a little bit about anatomy. So this, of course, is our blade. This is our handle. This is the tip, and this is the tail. The handle and the blade meet right here in the center, at the center of gravity, which is often where you'd find a bolster. This is a stamp cut knife, so it's cut out of a single sheet of steel, and it doesn't have a bolster in this middle part as you would see in a forged knife. This is the blade edge, this is the sharp end, this is the business side, this is the spine. These are some examples of different shapes and types of chef knife. We always recommend that you have one that is at least 6 inches in the blade and has enough clearance on the blade to allow for your knuckles to clear and not knock against the board. Other than that, it's really up to you. There are a lot of different directions that you could go in. I pulled out some knives just so we can talk a little bit about different properties and characteristics. These are high carbon steel knives that don't have the same additives as the stainless steel knives. Stainless steel alloys are mixed with chromium, nickel, vanadium, molybdenum, all kinds of proprietary blends to get them durable, rust resistant, and long lasting with this shine. The shape of these knives is different too. This is a much more straight edged traditional Japanese nakiri knife. And then as you move along, this has a much more dramatic rock to it. This will cut very flat and very straight. This tends to have much more of a rock and a roll as you slice. These are kind of in the middle. So this is what we call a santoku, and this is a gyuto. Both of them are Japanese manufactured knives that exist somewhere in between the flat nakiri and the rolled Western style knife, but have different tip conditions. This is a single bevel knife, which has a much more dramatic shape to it. It is concave on this side and has this wedge shaped like a chisel on the other side. And it does tend to curve when you use it rather than cut straight as with the double bevel knives. These knives are all symmetrical, so they will cut straight through when used correctly. This knife here I pulled out because it's a good example of a forged knife. This knife has a present bevel here, and this is made from as a single unit in a forged. It is poured into a mold and created as a single piece, whereas this knife is stamp cut and is laser cut from a single piece of steel, and then the handle is applied. These are rivets that adhere, that attach the handle to the tang of the knife, which goes inside the handle. All right, this is a honing steel. It is not a sharpener. When you're using a honing steel, you're actually realigning the knife edge. So if this, you imagine, is the microscopic version of the edge of the knife, with normal use, the steel will start to curl over and form a burr. What you're doing with honing steel is you're just aligning that so it stays straight. Once a year for most home cooks, you will have to have your knife professionally sharpened, and that means actually taking material off of the knife to create a new blade edge. So picking up your knife with the pinch grip and keeping your fingers loose, hold your hand so that the finger just makes contact and the edge just makes contact. That'll help create your angle, define your angle to follow. So just pull back so that you're using the full length of the knife and the full length of the steel. Flip it over, thumb rests on the underside, and then repeat. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Do this a couple times on each side, maybe 3 or 4 times on each side after every time you use the knife, and that will help to keep that steel in alignment.